the two areas of practice that we still enjoy the most is the civic realm, particularly these large university buildings and civic structures, and also still maintaining our hold on residential architecture. So for us, I don't know what Etty Bowles is, but the civic realm is still where I think that area where architecture is at its most engaging to the largest number of people. So the first of these projects, two buildings that were completed now 18 months ago, the Garner Building and Dorrit Black Building for the University of South Australia, were two of 4 buildings we've now just completed. So the first of these was, we were completing a site that had been developed as one massive new university campus in the mid-90s, and it was completed in 96. The university was roundly criticised by everybody for really just having a fairly utilitarian attitude to their buildings and producing the same replicated, strongly emblematic building type right over the whole campus. So fortunately they couldn't get hold of this, a few commercial sites in this edge of the city campus that allowed us to come in years later and win a competition to complete the campus. So the first of these was saying the existing buildings were absolute buildings that filled the site. Maybe we could display to the students buildings that are far more enthusiastic, that are energised and actually bounce over the borders. They're not absolute building and absolute space between, but they're buildings that somehow pirouette and contort with great enthusiasm beyond their boundaries. So the first of these was the Garner Building, which is the home of the Architecture School and the University's School of Art, and to contain an art gallery in the base of that. And it sits next to a pub on Hindley Street, which is a pretty gritty urban commercial strip at the western end of the city. So one of our common themes is designing buildings that are open containers that engage with the street life of the city. Really worked in this instance because we were, like any commercial building, we wanted to push the program. So the inhabited parts and the parts where students flowed through the most, we pushed to the perimeter with this vast glass curtain wall, like a shop front in a commercial strip, to provide this exposition of the academic culture of the university. At the same time, we engaged with the systems available in that city. We always look very carefully at the engagement with the practices of building in the cities we work in. And the foremost amongst these, South Australia produces Australia's finest precast concrete, knowing that these buildings always were going to use these systems available. The base of this building is a vast student gallery. Intentionally, we reworked the brief to make this sub-basement space you look down into from Hindley Street. It's raw. These are the bigger budgets on the last building we did, but these buildings had very tight budgets. So you can sort of see strategically where, as architects, we made the decisions about operability. This is the students' reception desk to that gallery that folds out. It's sort of one beautifully finished piece in a space that's otherwise, you can virtually see every strategic economic decision we've made along the way. A vast inner world that's quite entangled, and here's both the entry to the School of Art and the School of Architecture in this completely internalised inner realm. And we proposed to the university, it's almost a place that is an exposition of the making of the building. You could imagine wandering through and you see the primacy of the major structure, the secondary structure, the services and so forth. It becomes part of the education process for students as they march through the building.